All right, guys, an awesome episode for you. We are releasing the guest passes for our next live event, September 14th and 15th here in New Jersey. So if you had any interest in the Rehab Chiro community, in the Rehab Chiro Mastermind, if your friends have been in our world, if you've seen me on social, if you listen to the podcast and you're like, hey, what is this really like? Well, this is your chance. In this episode, I dive deep into exactly what you're going to be learning at this live event, the exact topics, and I don't stay surface level. We actually go really, really deep into what we're actually doing for this live event. We've done a bunch of these live events. Everyone gets better and better. I'm so excited as these get closer. It allows me to get in front of all of you. I can look in your eye. I can yell at you if you need it. I can hug you if you need it. Then we send you back. You get some confidence. You go back and execute. And it can absolutely be transformative to your life and your business. Even if you don't think you're ready, even if you don't have the confidence, that's why we do it. We understand that's why people come. Sometimes you have to borrow the confidence. So September 14th and 15th here in New Jersey, we expect over 100 people there. I want each and every one of you who are listening, get into our world. As I say in the podcast, you buy money at a discount. That's absolutely what's going to happen in this live event. It's so much more than you could ever have expected. That's what people who haven't been before tell me, that they absolutely love it. It's going to be an incredible 2 days. And I don't know what else to say other than please go into the show notes, apply for a guest pass, and I can't wait to see all of you there.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Business School for the Rehab Chiropractor. Class is officially in session. My name is Justin Rabinowitz, and I am a rehab chiropractor on a mission to teach you, a fellow rehab chiropractor, the exact tools and systems I've used to build my own successful rehab chiropractic practice so you can do the same. I hope you enjoy, and please subscribe.
So as I start to understand myself more and the businesses that I'm in more, and I go through this journey just like all of you as a business owner, I really start to recognize what I'm actually doing. How many of you guys have gone out and become a rehab chiropractor and you thought what you were doing was treating back pain or giving adjustments or doing soft tissue, and now you realize what you're actually doing is giving people hope. You're giving people a plan. You're becoming that guiding light. You're someone to listen to. And so the definition of what you thought you did and what you actually do, it changes over time. I have those same revelations along my journey as well. And so as we start to think about this live event, I think the exact same way about it. You could ask me what this next live event is about on September 14th and 15th, and I would tell you it's going to teach you how to make more money. It's going to teach you how to quickly make more profit. It's going to teach you how to get your schedule full. It's going to teach you how to get your associate schedule full. It's going to teach you how to get more out of what you already got. But to be honest, that's very surface level. That's very surface level. And as we often ask our clients, and as you ask your patients, we challenge them. And I challenge you right now. Do you want to stay surface level or do you want to go deep? Do you want to go deep into what you're really doing? And so I'm going to challenge all of you to go deep with me right now into what's really going to happen at this live event. As I said, at the surface level, sure, you're going to learn how to make more money. You're going to learn to get more patients. But is that really at a deeper level what actually needs to happen? Or can I challenge you to go on this journey with me for the next 15, 20 minutes to understand really what you're going to learn and discover and who you are going to become along the way, specifically as you attend 2 days being surrounded by the best rehab chiropractors in the world. So if you'll give me your ear, your attention for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to dive deep into what that actually is and what that looks like for each one of us. At the next level, we are going to teach you in this weekend how to think differently. And the question becomes, pay attention and write this one down. The question becomes, how do I never pay for anything in my business? Let me say that again. The question becomes, how do I never pay for anything in my business? You see, this question is actually profound. How many of you guys out there have thought about buying a new piece of equipment or hiring a new staff member or having to move into a larger space or get a new lease, or you've gotten kicked out of the gym space you're in and your expenses are going to go up? And your first thought becomes, how am I going to pay for it? The second thought becomes, how am I going to take less money home because I have a family to feed and I have a baby and a wife and I have people relying on me. And if I go and make these next moves that is going to cost me money, I have to pay for it. What if we change the question to, how do I never pay for anything in my business? And here's what I mean. If you first have this mindset, and if you first understand that this is how we need to start to think about it, it changes the way in which we are going to conduct business. Because every time you want to grow your business or a business expense comes to play, it could be joining Mastermind. It could be coming to this live event. The question becomes, how do I live in a world where I never pay for anything in this business? You might be saying, Justin, that's pie in the sky. You're right. It is pie in the sky, but I know it's possible because that's how I think about this. If you understand that you are never paying for anything in this business, it starts to change the way in which you do business and you conduct business. And here's what I mean. Let's say you have to increase your rent or you have to do a repair in your office and it's going to cost you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. You could say, well, I have savings in the bank and I'm going to pay for this. Or you could start to think, how am I going to get my customers? How am I going to get my patients to pay for this? And as soon as you ask that question, it starts to make you consider other options. What if I told you, you are not allowed to spend any of your own money to do this in the business? You have to repair that machine. You have to get a new table. You have to do that. You need $5,000 in the next 30 days. You are not allowed to pay for it. Your customers, your patients have to pay for it. And if you can understand that concept, now we start to think about how are we going to do things in our business that's going to allow us to make money that our patients and our customers will pay for so that we can do the thing necessary to help grow our business. So the question becomes, how do I never pay for anything in my business? And if you relate that back to what we will be covering in the live event, essentially, we're going to answer that question. Because as I've alluded to many times, and I'll tell the story again, and I'll tell it again, and I'll tell it again, the thing in our business that is so important is that when we are having a, quote, bad month, when it is summer, when it is election season, when there's 1,000 other excuses, it doesn't mean that we can come out of pocket all the time to cover that loss. It means that we have to think about the business differently so that we can create revenue and we can continue to grow. And so when we cover this in the live event, we teach you the exact system and process that I've used in my business. It is not theory. It is things that we do and execute every single day, month. We're going to be walking you through that exact process that has helped us in my business to say, hey, we're not having a good month. What can we do that is going to add value to our customers, that is going to help make us money and help move the business forward? So the question one is, how do you think differently? The question one is, how do you think differently? And how can I never pay for anything else in my business? Well, what we're going to be teaching at the live event is exactly how you are going to be able to add value to your customers without ever having to spend your own money. The second thing that we really want to do is, how do you add continual value? And the question becomes, how can I offer something to my patients that will pay me well and deliver them value? Because listen, if you are a charlatan and you want to ask people for money and not deliver an outcome to them, we don't want you in our group. We have 120 and counting of what I believe to be some of the highest level mastermind members, highest level rehab chiropractors in the world. They are from the US. I think we're in almost 35, 40 states at this point. We are in Canada. And these people act and think at a high level, and they rely on me to keep the group very high level. And so when we talk about thinking differently and making our customers pay for these things in our business, we have to offer something of value to them that they want to buy and continue to buy. And we have to offer that. If you plan on selling them something that is a bag of shit, we do not want you in our group. We do not want you at the live event. Personally, I will ask you to leave if you are a charlatan. If you are building value by smoke and mirrors, we don't want you here. So the question becomes, how do I offer something to my patients that will pay you as the doctor well, that also provides tremendous value to them? And if you can continually add value to your customers, you can continually charge the right price. You can continue to sell them things that they want and need that they often don't even know. That's going to help to build your business and grow it forward. So if we go back to the first question, how do I think differently? How do I never pay for anything in my business? And then the second question is, how do I continue to add value to my customers that they want to continue to pay me more? And I can offer them different services and different products. I can do sales and I can do specials. And I can do all of these things in my business. And at the end of the day, as we go deeper into what we're building in this business, it's understanding that these questions that I'm asking are actually the most profound questions that you will ever be able to solve. If you can solve these things in your business, you will not be in business 1 year, 25 times in a row. You will be in business 25 years. That is a growing, continual evolution of growing of the business. And that's what each and every one of you wants to build and grow to. And as we move into the third level, we talk about consistent growth. How do you avoid the pitfalls and the roller coasters that every business seems to face? I can't stand it when I hear people in my mastermind or outside of it, even worse, and they say, oh, it's election season, we're going to have a dip. Oh, it's summer, everyone's on vacation. Oh, we had a good month, we're going to have a bad month. That's just business. I don't believe that. If you have the proper strategies and techniques and the proper insights and business skills, you do not need to live in this constant state of roller coaster. Because when you have a roller coaster in your bank account, you have a roller coaster in your brain. And when you have a roller coaster in your brain, you have a roller coaster of emotions. And when you have a roller coaster of emotions, you take it to your business, your team, your family. And I don't believe or subscribe to the idea that you should live in a world where your life is a consistent and constant roller coaster. But it doesn't happen without understanding the skills necessary. It doesn't happen without understanding what is required. It doesn't happen without the business skills. It doesn't happen with the mindset. It doesn't happen with all the things that we are going to teach you at this live event. You need to have these skills. This is pie in the sky. These are great questions to start with, but if you don't have the tactics and the execution strategies to make it happen the way we need to over and over and over again, you are consistently going to get what you've been getting, which for most of you, unfortunately, is mediocrity at best. Most of you think mediocre is good. And sadly, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Many of you became chiropractors because you couldn't get into regular medical school. And you are mediocre because of that. And you think and you believe you have an inferiority complex. Well, I don't believe that shit. I believe you guys are world class. You can be world class. Now, the difference is you're going to have to build a different skill set that many of you never thought you needed. You never thought you were going to have to understand how to do what we're going to teach at the live event. You never thought that you were going to have the mindset of saying, hey, how am I going to get my customers to pay for things for me so I can grow my business? How can I add a skill to my repertoire that I can run a sale or anniversary special and I can generate $50,000 in 10 days, just like Strive to Move, my practice did? You never thought that you need to do it. Well, guess what, Buttercup? Suck it up, because you do need it. You do need the skill set. And that's why we run these live events, because we know that someone needs to theoretically, or sometimes literally, just slap you in the face and say, you can do it. You're not inferior. If you're making $10,000 a month, that's not good enough. We can shake you. We're going to shake you and say, here's how to do it right. Here's how to be a professional. Because at the end of the day, if we want to go really deep, into it, what are we actually trying to do? We believe that every single rehab chiro deserves absolute practice empowerment. Let me say that again. We believe that every rehab chiro deserves absolute practice empowerment. The theme of this live event, September 14th and 15th, is going to be empowerment. If you are out there and you live in a world where you don't know where your next new patient is going to come from, and you have 2 weeks left in the month and aren't sure that you're going to be able to cover rent the next month, whether it's at home or in your office, if you have a month where you have a bad month and you don't know how to fix it, you are not empowered. You are helpless. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're being truthful, at some point in your business, most likely every single day, you feel helpless. And so what we want to do in this live event is leave you empowered, because we believe that every rehab chiro deserves absolute practice empowerment. That when you need to build your business, when you need to add revenue, when you need to pay for something to grow, that you have the tools required and necessary to do it. And that's why September 14th and 15th here in New Jersey, we are going to be running a live event. And the theme of that live event is how to make money without spending any money. It's how to generate $50,000 in a week without spending $1 on marketing. And if you think that it sounds like a sleazy sales pitch, well, all I can tell you is I have receipts. I promise you, I will put them on my PowerPoint slide at this live event. Because what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to walk you through what happened at my practice in the month of June at Strive to Move. Because at our practice in the month of June, we are a business that does between $80,000 and $100,000 per month. Well, we went into that first week of June, and guess what happened? We had one evaluation on the schedule. And as someone that's been doing this for longer than a decade, I understand that when you start a month with one evaluation on the schedule, the rest of the month is going to be shit. And this is going to be a very bad month where the practice will lose money. And Justin doesn't live in a world where he loses money. The standard that he sets is that is not okay. Now, it hasn't always been that way, I will admit, but where I live today in 2024, in the month of July or August, whenever this is coming out, I will not allow our practice to lose money. There are people in this business, there are a dozen people that rely on me making sure that so long as everything is copacetic, that we are going to make a profit and people will get a paycheck. And so the standard that I said, it is not okay for our business to lose money. So when we go into a month and there's one evaluation on the schedule in a business that typically generates $80,000 to $100,000 a month, I am not standing for it. And so what we did within 10-day period is we ran a special. We ran what we called an anniversary special with a very specific timeline, a very specific outcome, a very specific goal in mind. And within a 2-week period, my practice with just that special generated over $50,000 in revenue. We did not spend $1 on marketing, not $1 on Google ads, on Instagram ads, on Facebook ads, on SEO. We didn't spend $1 on that. It was all from the people already in our business. And so the theme of this live event is I'm going to teach you exactly, step by step, exactly what we did. And the most beautiful thing about this is that nobody can tell me it doesn't work. Why? Because I just did it. Even better, the word I just used, I just did it, is not even true. Because one of you, 2 of you, 10 of you out there listening to this podcast are saying, yeah, Justin, it's easy for you. You can do it. You've been doing this a long time. You're a guru. You teach this, yada, yada, yada. Well, guess what, guys? I didn't execute any of it myself. Our team, Dr. Kaylee, Dr. Ashton, Sophia, they did the entire thing. And so when I say that we generated 50,000, Justin had the initial idea and the framework. The actual execution, our team did it. And so when you show up to the live event and you sit there, you are going to be in the exact same position where if you sit there and listen to what we've done and go and execute, it has to work. The only way that it doesn't work is this. Are you ready? Is if you don't do the work. If you don't do the work. There is nothing worse than having it laid out in front of you. You can make money tomorrow, maybe not 50, but what if I'm half wrong and you make 25? What if I'm wrong again and you make 12,500? Well, for most of you, that's more than you make in a month. And so we are going to teach you that. And so if you are in Virginia or you are in California or you are in Canada and Florida, and you're like, should I spend $400 on a flight? And should I get a hotel? I don't know. It's expensive. All I can tell you is if you have an opportunity to sit there and learn from a business that just executed something that's going to make a business $50,000, and even if I'm 75% wrong, it's still worth your time to show up. It's still worth your time to show up. By the way, for you guys listening, let's take a step back. If you see me or hear me getting passionate right now, imagine what it's like in person. The reason I get so fired up is because so many of you guys have such an opportunity. And if you don't know the reason why I do these live events and why I created this entire business is because it's just what I wish I'd had when I started. And so when I get passionate and I start ranting and raving, it's because I know how painful business is because I have been there. I know what it's like to make no money. I know what it's like to lose money. I know what it's like to feel like I did good making $10,000 a month. And I'm here to tell you it's not. And when I can get you in person and I can sit knee to knee with you and I can walk around the room and I can look you in the eye and I can tell you you can do it. And it's possible because there's a room of over 100 people that have done it and are doing it, even if you think it's not. I promise you, if you just put one foot in front of the other and listen to a tenth of what I say, it's going to be better than what you were before. And sometimes if you don't have the confidence with a live event, what it does is it allows you to borrow it. Because you might say, I'm not confident. I can't come to the live event because I don't have the business yet, or I don't have the patients yet, or I'm not confident with my rehab. Well, guess what? The live event allows you to borrow it from others. And sometimes in life, guys, that's what we need to do. Because for you that don't have the confidence right now, the only way to get it is to be around people who have it. For you guys that are living in your little suburbs of the DFW of Dallas and you're in Norman, Oklahoma, and you're in San Luis Obispo, California, and you guys sit there and you're like, well, no one will pay in my town. No, it's because you're not around people that are growing, that are learning, that have the mindset required to grow. My life is a lot easier without doing these live events. By the way, my pocket is a lot fuller without doing these live events. I can give you a little insight into my CFO conversation is every single year we sit down and say, do we still consider these live events worth it? Because it is a lot of money to put on. Before the end of the weekend, it'll cost me personally $60,000, $70,000 to put on. And why do I do it? Because I know the outcome. I know the long-term results that people get is so incredibly valuable that I can't not do it. I can't not do it. And so for all of you that have been listening, we've done over 100 episodes. Every single live event we've done has gotten better and better. Every single time we do it in the next month after, it's like business on steroids. People go and take the one thing that they learned and they go deploy it. We have people now using live event tactics and techniques in their practices, and it's taken them to the moon. The results that people get after attending these live events, when you're submerged in it, when you're in it, when you're doing it for 2 days, it's better than anything that even in my wildest dreams I could imagine. And so you might be a student that's like, I don't know if I'm ready. You're ready. We have people like Alex King from Palmer, flies up for the weekend. The guy leaves and starts creating content. You tell me that guy's not going to be an absolute stud, still a student. If he can get here from Florida, why can't you? We have people like Ed Camacho who have shown up to this live event with his team, gone back like an absolute firecracker and implemented, completely transformed his business within a 30-day period. We have people that have come to our live event who had no interest in being in our world. And conveniently, they were in the area at the time and they show up and all of a sudden things change massively. One statement, one mindset shift, one little key that they took home or conversation they had at the bar the night before, the night of. And that's something that completely transformed their life. And so when I talk about why I'm so passionate about these live events, it's because you're buying money at a discount. You are buying money at a discount. If you can sit there and listen to someone present for 2 hours and give you the plan that made $50,000 in 2 weeks, and you spent whatever it cost, flight, hotel to get there, you are buying money at a discount. And for the rest of your life, if you can actually do this, if you can go and be in environments where you are buying money at a discount over and over and over again, and you just rinse and repeat quarter after quarter, year after year, decade after decade, it is inevitable, it is impossible that you will not be wealthy. We want you to be absolutely empowered when you leave that live event. We have so many things happening each and every live event. Not only are we going to teach you exactly the blueprint necessary to go and execute a 2-week period and make 50 grand with a special and a sale, which no one in our profession is able to execute ethically from a business perspective. There is nobody. I guarantee you, no one is teaching this because they don't know how to do it. And they're going to listen to this and they're going to be mad. Why? Because they know I'm right. So you will leave absolutely empowered. We are also having a guest speaker, my friend Vince Gabriel, who will get on the pod soon. Vince is a world-class entrepreneur. Vince owns a gym, a very successful gym, but he's just like us. He is someone who's trained professional Hall of Fame NFL players early in his career, high-level clinician, air quotes, who eventually had the entrepreneurial bug like so many of us have had, and he built his own successful small group training gym here in New Jersey. Beyond that, he now does coaching and consulting with gym owners from all over the country and the world. He has a marketing agency, so he owns 3 different companies. He has a licensing business, all while being able to take his son Joey to jiu-jitsu every day at 3 o'clock. And so if you want to be around an entrepreneur who understands what we're doing, he gets it. He understands this space. He understands the fitness space. He's worked with him. I've been in his gym before. I had an office in his gym for years. I've watched the sausage get made, so to speak. And I can tell you, he's going to spend the afternoon with us. Absolutely incredible. This is a guy who gets on stage and people pay big money to see him. He speaks with Perform Better up in Rhode Island, who you guys know on the Perform Better circuit. He has his own mastermind. He just hosted 170 gym owners from all over the country at his gym here in New Jersey. Just absolutely world class. And he's agreed to come and speak with you. If you enjoy getting around people that are high level, if you enjoy people in your space that can teach you something, that you can learn from them, if you enjoy that and you know the value of it, you cannot afford to miss this. You cannot afford to miss this. And so with that, I cordially invite you to apply for a guest pass. If you are not in our world right now, it is a wonderful opportunity for you to get behind the scenes, to get live in person. Some people, we get it. We run these live events because they just need to see it in person. They need to get around it. They need to get around the people. They need to get around my team. They want to see if it's real. I totally understand that. You know, it's funny, at the last live event, I asked them to raise their hand. There's 130 people in the room. I said, hey, by chance, how many of you thought this was a scam before you showed up or before you joined our world? I think 99% of the room raised their hand. The only one who didn't raise their hand, I think, was my roommate, Jake Altman, Dr. Jake Altman, because he knew me already. We went to chiropractic school together and were roommates. I was in his wedding. And so he's probably the only one that didn't raise his hand when I asked if it was a scam because he knew me beforehand. So I get it. For you guys that are skeptical, that's why we do it. I want you to be around my team. No one hides. I want you to see how they speak to you. I want you to see how they interact. I know that you guys are looking and judging. I get it. I do it on purpose. And so I want all of you there to be able to see. I want you to be around other members. I want you there so that you can buy money at a discount. So September 14th and 15th, I cordially invite you. If you've been bouncing around our world, if you've been listening to the podcast, following me on social, most of you have friends that are doing it already, might be skeptical, not right for you, might not be the time. Well, this is the time. If you go to the link in the show notes, you can fill out that application and we have our team member get in touch with you to make sure it is a good fit. You can ask the questions that you've got, and then we can get you all signed up, ready to go for that live event. Once again, September 14th and 15th here in New Jersey. I cannot wait to see you guys there. I'm so excited. This is my Super Bowl. I know you're going to leave with a breakthrough. I know it's going to be transformational. I know you have other things in your life. I know you have family and kids. I know, I get it. However, if you can find the time, if you can find the resources, I can guarantee you it'll pay off. All right, one last time, go into the show notes, guys. Don't make me beg you, for God's sakes. Go into the show notes, click on the link, apply for a guest pass, and we will see you in New Jersey, September 14th and 15th.
All right, guys, we are at the end of the podcast, and you know what that means. It is time for me to beg you, to plead you, to encourage you that if you are listening to this podcast and you are getting a lot of value out of it, just remember and think about what could you get if you actually let me coach you live and in person, one-on-one in our group of mastermind members. So here's what I want you to do. If you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, getting a lot of value, but have not taken ChiroBiz 101, I want you to go into the show notes. In the show notes, we have a link. It is go.rehabchirocoach.com/strategy call. That is go.rehabchirocoach.com/strategy call. I want you to book a strategy call with our team so that we can see if you are a good fit for ChiroBiz 101. At our last count, we have gotten our clients 177% growth from that program. So if you haven't taken our course and if you listen to the podcast and get value, I want you to book that call. I'll see you later.